Cheat Code. Support Strategist. By Clouds. My Head in the Clouds Not Coming Down. On AO3. Chapter 60. Glitter. Izuku ran into class just before the bell rang, and pretty much immediately his classmates turned to stare at him. He fidgeted, awkwardly. He wasn't usually this late, but he'd gotten an idea about his teleporting tracker last night and had completely lost track of time before his mom ran into his room and practically cried as she told him he was going to be late for school. Kohiri looked at him up and down and whistled lowly. Dang, Midoriya, no tie today? Izuku instinctively looked down at his outfit. He was wearing the UA uniform, mostly. He might have been too big of a rush this morning to even want to deal with the idea of tying a tie, so he swapped the dress shirt for a black t-shirt, which had always been flexible for crawling through the tunnels. He was still wearing the uniform, just styled differently. He laughed awkwardly. Well, I mean, none of you guys keep your full uniforms on either. And just because I'm working at a computer doesn't mean I shouldn't be comfortable, right? Besides, Katsuki's in the hero course and he never wears his tie either. Speaking of, May slammed her notebook down on her desk. I have an idea. We should glitter bomb him. Izuku looked over her shoulder at the design she sketched out. May, you do know that normal glitter bombs don't normally include C4, right? They don't? May frowned. But then why is it called a bomb? I mean, it probably won't do too much damage. Power Loader cleared his throat, and the class sheepishly turned to look at him. Hatsume, if you're gonna blow up the school, could you at least have a good grade to do it with? I'm out of earshot? I need plausible deniability, not a migraine. Right. Midoriya smiled apologetically. It won't happen again, sir. Power Loaded sighed. Let's just get back to work. Mineta kept himself quiet and unobscured as he walked into the support labs. Only an idiot would draw attention to themselves before they got the lay of the land, and at least had a sense of who they were hunting. There were several students spread out between the tables, wielding and scorching away their own inventions. But Mineta wasn't interested in them. Somehow he didn't think that a kid with a giant shark head was cheat code. It seemed like something that would have come up in conversation, even though he couldn't be sure that Island incident wasn't related to cheat code. It was still his best lead, which meant that he was looking for either Hatsume or Midoriya. Jiro had insinuated that he was only interested in Hatsume because she had big boobs. So, the one with pink hair, that wasn't anyone with her, but from what the class had said, the two were never far apart, so Midoriya must be around here somewhere. It was only a matter of when he would show up. Not that his target in sight, Mineta let her linger a bit too long in the right places, and ran towards Hatsume's station as quickly as he could, hardly ever giving a glance to any of the boys in the room. Not even the one with green hair who was leaning against the doorframe of a side room looking at him suspiciously, most likely questioning his intention towards Hatsume. Good. If the students thought he was looking at the girls, then he'll never guess that he was actually here to find cheat code. He almost made it to Hatsume's desk before the green-haired kid called him out. Hey, Mineta, are you here to modify your costume? Mineta jumped. How did this kid know his name? He recovered quickly enough, putting on a smile as he glanced at Hatsume. Yeah, I heard some of the others saying Hatsume was the best girl to go to. You heard right. Hatsume jumped to shake his hand, but the kid, who had to be Midoriya, was still looking at him suspiciously. I'm the best inventor you'll ever find and the future CEO of Hatsume Industries. Nice to meet you. Mineta grinned. I'm excited to see what you can do, hot stuff. Cheat Code gave us a lot of good suggestions. Midoriya's expression changed slightly when Mineta mentioned cheat code. Interesting. Midoriya pushed himself away from the doorframe and walked over to them. subtly placing himself in front of Hatsume. Your quirk involves adhesion, right? What did you have in mind? Mineta stood his ground. I don't know, something super cool. Definitely. I need to look like a badass. Hatsume pushed past Midoriya. Then your current costume isn't gonna cut it. I've seen the design and it makes you look like a giant baby. And the fact that you were crying during your fights doesn't help. So, we're gonna change that. I'll take out the white and the diaper, just gets in the way, but we can keep the utility belt. Maybe we should add some sort of ranged weapon. Ooh, maybe something that can adjust the stickiness of your quirk. And with DNA incorporated into the suit, obviously. I don't know, I had some designs a while ago. Where did I put them? About halfway through her rambling, Hatsumi had pulled out a stack of notebooks and started sorting through them for ideas, spreading out old drawings and crumpled notes across her desk as Midoriya helped sort through them, muttering about the specifics of Mineta's quirk underneath his breath. How did he know so much? He heard the guy was Nezu's personal student, so a certain amount of mystery was to be expected, but they've never met before. Something on one of the pages caught his eye and Mineta sunk in a breath. Was that? He glanced over towards Midoriya and Hatsume, but they were both gotten caught up in brainstorming new gear ideas for him that they weren't even looking his way, so Mineta subtly nudged the sketchbook the rest of the way open. His eyes widened slightly when he realized he was right. Various versions of cheat code's logo were spread across the page, all slightly different than the ones that had appeared on the info packets. But considering that some of them were crossed out and others were crammed in margins, Mineta assumed they must be in process versions, which meant Mineta glanced up at the duo, who were all chatting amongst faster than any normal person could process. Which one was cheat code? Quickly, Mineta grabbed one of the smaller balls from the nape of his neck to stuck it at the corner of the page. As soon as he was sure no one was watching him, he tore the page and wrapped it around the ball before shoving it in his pocket. The page would be undamaged when the stickiness wore off, but if anyone questioned him before then, he can inevitably try to tear the page off and ruin the evidence in progress. The timing was closer than he would have liked, though, considering Midoriya turned towards him as soon as the ball was safe inside Mineta's pocket, a huge smile on his face. So, what do you think? Mineta squeezed the paper ball in his pocket. I think you two are exactly what I need. Somehow, being looped in on a big secret as all for one was enough to break the ice between Hitoshi and his adults. Parents? He wasn't quite sure if he was ready to go that far, but whatever. Shota and Hisashi were to him. They were better than anything he'd ever had before, and finally hearing Shota's real opinion on All Might was hilarious. I mean, seriously. Shota rolled his eyes. There should be at least a community deciding who gets such a powerful, not to mention dangerous, opportunity. Impulsively putting a first year in a situation where she has to make a long life decision and can't really say no to the privilege was just idiotic. Not to mention unethical. No wonder she disappeared. Hitoshi grinned. I'm pretty sure that has more to do with her quirk. Shoto glared at him. She didn't teleport for at least a week after getting that stupid power, which means she was probably repressing the power and it had no choice but to manifest dramatically. That wouldn't have happened if the blonde oaf hadn't laid all this pressure on his giant legacy. Hisashi smiled softly and rubbed his back. Do you want to hide in one of those cupboards and jump scare him? That usually makes you feel better. I could probably have Mei-chan make a glitter bomb for you, Hitoshi offered. I know she's building one already, so they can prank Bakugo, but, I should warn you she's still working on the formula. Last I heard, her designs is more bomb than glitter. Oh. Hisashi perked up. I could probably take a look over it. I made my fair share of glitter bombs and other pranks back in my day at High UA. I'm pretty sure there's still glitter in 3A's classroom from that one time we... That's not something to be proud of. Shota cut in, but he was still smiling. Your other pranks were more effective. Hitoshi glanced between the two of them. Why do I feel like I should be taking notes? Shota grinned. Because learning from the master is only logical. You? Hitoshi gave a shocked laugh. Hisashi, I can see, but you? Shota shrugged. There's nothing wrong with a few logical ruses. You have to battle burnout somehow. Plus, Hisashi was a bad example. Hey! Hisashi looked betrayed. Do I need to remind you that the air horn tripwire in the cafeteria was your idea? Shota frowned. I thought that one was Shirakumo's. Hisashi's face fell. Oh, I guess it was. It's been so long. His adults were silent for a long moment, and Hitoshi was about to ask what was wrong when Hisashi shook himself out of it. Well, little listener, I guess you're wondering why we're having your favorite for dinner tonight. Hitoshi looked at him suspiciously. I thought you were just buttering me up so that I'd trust you or something. Shota snorted. Good thought, kid, but no, there's more to it. We're celebrating! Hisashi ran over to the counter to grab a manila envelope and shoved it in his hands. Well, what are you waiting for? Open it. Hitoshi gave them a suspicious glance, but slowly opened the envelope and pulled out a piece of paper. Our official fostering license, Shota answered. Until now, we've technically been under emergency custody, but now it's official. Basically, it means we can keep custody of you without having to jump through hoops and call you a villain when you're obviously going to be a hero. Hitoshi swallowed back some tears, his voice almost choking up. Oh, okay. Plus, Nezu even pulled a few strings so that our emergency custody of you will still count towards the minimum time before adoption. Hisashi grinned. That means we can adopt you, like at the beginning of the next semester? Isn't that so rocking? Assuming you want that. Shoto cut in. If you would prefer we not adopt you, that's alright. We still have a place with us, even if you don't want to go that far. You... Hitoshi looked at them in shock. You actually want to... But you'll be stuck with me. Shota snorted. More like you'll be stuck with us. Maybe it's best if we don't. I can't imagine having that cockatiel over there as a dad. Hisashi stuck out his tongue. Well, I can't imagine having a himbo calipator as one either. Hitoshi sniffled a snicker, but smiled. We'll see. But, you probably have to fight my kidnappers for custody? What? Hisashi flexed. Do you think we can't handle a couple kids? Shota raised one eyebrow. Speak for yourself. Those two attack. You're on your own. It's only logical to surrender in the face of undeniable defeat. Hitoshi laughed. They're almost definitely getting sick of him before they were able to adopt him. But that didn't... Then maybe being a part of the real family wouldn't be too bad. Okay, 1, Mineta is on to Izuku, but I also think Izuku is on to Mineta. I think it's that whole, stance, that whole, It's the stance of, the race of who gets it first, right? And I really hope it's Izuku. My boy is smart. Mineta, look, I still really dislike him. But it's been interesting seeing him as a traitor and stuff like that. And it's been simple, it's been easy. It's not simple, but it's been entertaining and it's been a ride. Can we talk about Hitoshi, Shinso? Hitoshi, Shinso, and obviously, his two not but yes dads. Adoption. Oh my god. When are we gonna get the dad? Oh, sorry, I won't call you that again. You can call me that. I love that moment in Found Family, especially when it's Shoto and Hisashi adopting, anyone. That whole the accidental dad calling is amazing. It's wonderful. It's brilliant. I love it. It's 100% the most best thing. Can't wait for tomorrow's chapter. Ugh, it is so weird to be posting every day now. As always, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Join our community Discord server, link is in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.